You're welcome to Ogtv Main News. I am Mojisola Sholaja. Our top stories. Senate backpedals on electronic transmission of election results. Governor Abeokuta enlists support of Nigerian Navy on maritime security. House of Representatives approves establishment of Southwest-Southeast Development Commissions. EU pledges €1 million in aid to Afghanistan. When life gets blurry, adjust your focus.
And on business news tonight, the federal government is set to rejuvenate Abeokuta Steel Company. These and more to come. I am Siniat Abaru.
Coming up on sport, UEFA announces bidding process for Euro 2028 host. This and many more coming your way on the sports segment of the news. I'm Emmanuel Dasaudo. Stay with us.
Once again, you're welcome to the main news. To promote and encourage a more business-friendly environment, a watertight security is required along the waterways and riverine areas of Ogun State. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun stated this while receiving the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, and his entourage in Okemoson, Abeokuta. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu reports.
The Western Naval Commands cover the sea and coastal areas from Nigerian to Benin borders, as well as coordinate 12 units under its jurisdiction, which includes Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun and members of the State Executive Council received the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Bassa, and his entourage on a courtesy visit, particularly to intimate the current administration of its readiness to support the state security architecture through Operation Wase, a joint security task force, which is another intervention to curb all criminal elements around the riverine areas, both within and outside the gateway states. Governor Abeokuta said he's ready to collaborate with the Nigerian Navy to checkmate influx of miscreants from coastal towns into Ogun Waterside and Togeji Island for the safety of its citizenry.
In our riverine area, the waterside part of Ogun State is one of our very open flanks. It's one of our very vulnerable points. Because there we are contiguous with the Niger Delta, every now and then our people there are attacked from the waters and people are kidnapped. And we've been dealing with that. As one of our requests, I would like to sit down with you and see how we can collaborate to see how you can help us in the provision of security for that riverine area. It's one of the areas that we're looking to bring investment to. We are proposing and working on building a port in that area. We are building, in partnership with others, gas facilities in that area. So it is important that we ensure that we provide the required maritime security in that area.
While calling on the federal government to construct a bridge at Togeji Island for easy passage of the people, the governor also warned criminals to steer clear of the state, as any attempt to undermine security arrangement will be treated with all seriousness.
Our comparative advantage is our proximity to the number one and the largest economy in this country, the fifth largest economy in this nation. We are the expansion corridor for Lagos. People live here, they work here. People live here, they work in Lagos. People set up businesses here, and the goods are distributed to either Lagos or to the hinterland. Any attempt to breach our security, we see it as an attempt to sabotage our economy, and we will resist that with everything.
Rear Admiral Bassa assured the governor that Operation Wase, set up by the federal government, is saddled with the responsibility of protecting the petroleum pipelines, including Mosimi Depot in Ogun State, and also it will be used to tackle the challenges of kidnapping, cultism, and robbery within its catchment areas.
For 30 years now, the Nigerian Navy Secondary School at Abeokuta has existed mainly by the grace of this state. I must acknowledge that the state and the government of Ogun State has greatly supported the existence of that school.
He also appreciated the state government for its unflinching support to the security outfit. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Meanwhile, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has presented a patrol vehicle and a car to the Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta, as a way to strengthen the operations. Governor Abiodun made the presentation through the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command at his office, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Governor's office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu reports.
Provision of adequate security is one of the cardinal agenda of the current administration, led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, to ensure the stability of Ogun State in all ramifications. As a committed and promise-keeping administration, Governor Abiodun presented a patrol vehicle and a car to the Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta, to further enhance their operations.
Promise-keeping one, and our promises are guarded very jealously. We decided that to honor you today for coming as part of the state that you are visiting under your watch, to keep our promises that we made to you, and to further demonstrate our commitment to our law enforcement architecture, and also by so doing motivate those men who are on the beat, working day and night to ensure that we retain our position as the investors' destination in this country. We decided to present this token for the use of your men here in Ogun State.
While appreciating the kind gesture of the state government, the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, promised to make judicious use the purpose it was meant for.
Your Excellency, you have proven that you're a man of your word. On behalf of the Chief of Naval Staff, I most respectfully receive these two vehicles, and I give you my own word that with the guidance of the Chief of Naval Staff, we'll do all within our means to make sure we provide that security cover and support to you, the government, and the good people of Ogun State.
The commandant of Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta, Commander Jacinta Asetubobe, was overwhelmed and thanked Governor Dapo Abiodun for looking in the direction of strengthening the security apparatus of the state. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
And the new block of 4 classrooms and some other projects have been inaugurated by the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, at the premises of Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta. The commissioning was part of his working visit to Ogun State.
A working visit it was for the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, to the Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Abeokuta, where he commissioned a number of projects. Among the projects commissioned were a block of 4 classrooms, home economics laboratory, water treatment plants, and a remodeled block of 3 classrooms. Speaking after the commissioning, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa commended the Ogun State government for not relenting in the areas of beefing up security in the gateway states, saying the Navy School in Abeokuta would continue to witness more developmental projects during his posting to the command.
No doubt those projects are going to add value to the teaching and the learning environment in this place. There are classroom blocks. You saw an economics lab, all that was commissioned. There was a water point. There are so many other projects. And then I also had the opportunity of getting to know firsthand the challenges the school faces. But all together, I think the school has done well. The staff, they've shown me so much commitment that I feel I should have a child there under the guidance of this staff. The children themselves were very enthusiastic and lively as I saw them in the classroom. And they were willing to even interact with their commanding or flag officer commanding. So I find I will only say the commandant and our team should keep up the good work.
As it is customary in the Nigerian Navy, parades are usually one of the greatest honor to accord any commanding officer who came on visit. And this wrapped up the working visits.
The urban renewal efforts of the current administration in Ogun State have continued to receive applause. The latest is from residents of Aton Lusada, Agbara, where the state government is giving attention to a major road. Fowora Adesonwu recently visited the area and came back with this report.
This is Aton Lusada Agbara Road, a high-profile road, a corridor with huge investment and multinational companies. The road was opened up in 1978, and years after, the government of Ogun State is insisting that the road must be reconstructed to meet international standards after years of neglect for development of the people and the state.
For the roads that you have said that they are not as good, it is due to abandonment of maintenance in the last administration. You see, we had 8 years administration that did not maintain any road. Rather, they were building flyover. And what you do not maintain will naturally deteriorate. It is this administration now that has now been voting money for maintenance of our state roads. But this cannot be done overnight. It's gradually, we are going to get there.
State-of-the-art equipment are on the site, and the contractors are leaving no stone untouched.
This is a dual carriageway in both directions. The road is 18 kilometers long. It starts at the Trumpet Bridge just outside Agbara off the main express to Badagry, and it goes past Lusada up to Atan. It includes one small bridge. It includes drainage, street lighting, cable duct crossings with a center medium barrier, and a asphalted carriageway.
Of course, the construction has brought about the movement of vehicles, although businesses may have slowed down considerably. There are indications that there is a lot of scheming by investors to grab the opportunity coming from the opening of the area.
Considering the level of the work done so far, from my experience and as a field engineer, I'm a civil engineer by training, I can say that I have a full confidence that the job will be delivered and it's going to be a state of art. The quality of the equipment used is highly impressive, and we are confident.
It's welcome development. As this project is going on, as long as this open up, definitely all the properties along here, we appreciate.
The opening of Besa Road seems to be an icing on the cake, as those around the Lusada, Aton, and Agbara axis are now fully prepared to obey and support the government in its quest to remove obstructions that could slow down the pace of work.
This project has been done. It has a long time ago. It's not today we are knowing that they are supposed to give distance. So if they refuse to adhere to that one, the government should do what is necessary by removing their houses and let the project continues. Because businesses in this area are supposed to boom.
But I would think that this corridor is a very important corridor to Nigeria, to its economy, especially linking the Shagamo Popolante access to Agbara. So I'm sure it'll have a massive effect on the economy.
The job is projected to be completed in 24 months. Fowora Adesonwu, Ogtv News.
Still to come, NDLEA promises renewed vigor in tackling drug cartel. More news after this break. still watching Ogtv News on 25 UHF, 260 on DSTV and 100 on GoTV. Senate has reversed its decision on the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed in July this year. The legislators had passed this amendment in Clause 52 that electronic transmission of results can only take place if the National Communications Commission assured of adequate and secured national coverage and approval of the National Assembly. But now it has reversed its decision that voting and an election and transmission shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the Electoral Commission, which implies that it's at the discretion of INEC to decide mode of voting and transmission of election results. It said electronic voting machine is to replace any other device for conduct of election in Clause 43, subsection 1 and 3. It has adopted direct and indirect party primaries, but has not adopted direct primaries in Clause 87. Contrary to insinuations in some quarters, the Nigerian economy is more diversified than outside world thinks. The Director General, World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, disclosed this while addressing participants at the mid-term ministerial performance review retreat in Abuja.
Oil rents account for less than a tenth of GDP, according to the World Bank. Manufacturing value added has been on the rise for the past decade. Small-scale Nigerian industry is supplying leather goods and textiles to all of West Africa and even further afield. Agriculture accounts for about 1/3 of employment and 1/4 of output, with considerable potential for greater productivity and value addition. And of course, there is Nigeria's vibrant services sector.
Addressing participants at the retreat virtually, the Director General of the World Trade Organization is delighted that Nollywood films on Netflix and Filmtic and e-commerce firms from Nigeria are not only attracting foreign capital, but also expanding across Africa. She, however, made a strong case for Nigeria to explore old avenues for trade that will be opened up by African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
Convinced that Nigeria can and should be a manufacturing hub for the African Continental Free Trade Area. If companies here can produce for a population of 200 million people, they can do so for a unified market of 1.3 billion. One sector where this is particularly urgent is pharmaceutical and vaccine production, where it has become painfully clear that the continent needs to increase its own manufacturing capacity. Nigeria could become a hub for supplying vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics to the continent and the world. Manufacturing solar panels, producing goods based on the use of renewable energy should be an area Nigeria should plan to enter. The country must go green, not only for its large population, but also to take advantage of export prospects in Africa.
Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala congratulates Nigeria for making it easier and cheaper to start businesses, saying, however, efforts must be sustained towards improving security and lowering transaction costs for foreign and domestic investment. She expressed the firm conviction that Nigerians can indeed build the Nigeria they want and that trade can make them get there. The House of Representatives on Tuesday approved the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission and Southeast Development Commission. The House also approved special financial support for the revamping of the armed forces. This followed the consideration and adoption of several clauses and recommendations in 3 reports of bills seeking for the establishment of Southwest Southeast Development Commission and a special fund for the armed forces. Presenting the reports of the Committee on Justice and a bill for an act to establish Southwest Development Commission, Honorable Ozurigbo Ugbona said the commission will be, amongst others, charged with responsibility to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, including donations and gifts, the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region. The report for the Southeast Development Commission presented by the Deputy Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Nkeruka Oyejocha, stated that the Commission will serve as a catalyst to develop the commercial potentials of the Southeast. Ogun State House of Assembly has clarified that it will not go into media war with anyone, but rather advised the former Managing Director, State Property and Investment Corporation, OPIC, Jide Odusholu, to go and defend himself before relevant financial crime agencies responsible for financial investigations. The Speaker, Right Honorable Olakunle Olomo, made the clarifications while responding to the submissions of the Chairman, House Committee on Public Funds and Anti-Corruption, Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, and his Vice, Honorable Bashir Abdul, during plenary over the issue of media appearance of Odusholu, calling out the Assembly over his indictment as contained in the audit report submitted to the Assembly. Kola Wole-Osho's report is presented in this package.
Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts and Anti-Corruption, Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, and his Vice, Honorable Bashir Abdul, in their separate submissions under personal explanation at the plenary, stated that the Assembly's report was based on Auditor General's report on OPIC between 2015 and 2019 and its budget performance, among others. The duo noted that it was not right for Mr. Odusholu to state that the Assembly lacked authority to investigate the account of OPIC. The position he stated was contrary to the relevant provisions of the Constitution. While setting the record straight, Speaker Right Honorable Olakunle Oluomo, who explained that the audit report did not make any reference to former Governor of Ogun State, Senator Abeokuta Amosun, advised Odusholu to leave Governor Amosun out of the investigation, adding that as the former MD of the company, he remained the accounting officer during the period the infractions were committed.
At the point, he started writing a letter to the House that he doesn't want to appear, he cannot appear, he traveled, he's sick. And because we have a duty on our hand to serve the people of Ogun State, to expose corruption, to expose waste, all we did was to say, okay, if the man is not coming again, there are some bodies in Nigeria that are empowered by law to investigate financial crime. Go and meet them for further investigation. That's what we said. The man now started going to various television stations. What has that got to do with that Assembly? I repeat, this House will not engage in media war with anybody.
The Speaker stated further that Mr. Odusholu agreed that 40 million naira was spent in cash on site without record, and further indicted the former governor that it was him that brought the money to the site for spending.
The Auditor General of Ogun State, acting under the power conferred on him by Section 125 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, presented his report to the House of Assembly. And the same Constitution empowers the House of Assembly to go into that document and take necessary action. In fact, when you look at Section 128 of the Constitution, it empowers the House to expose corruption, waste, mismanagement, etc. And that was the reason why, when we look at the auditor's report, find the man culpable in some instance, invited him for purpose of fair hearing to come and defend himself. And he came and said a lot of things even before the camera, indicting himself. For instance, he agreed that 40 million was spent in cash inside without record of spending. He was even indicting the former governor, that governor brought the money to the site for spending.
It will be recalled that the Assembly at its previous plenary received and passed a resolution adopting the report of its Public Accounts and Anti-Corruption Committee, which considered the 2015 to 2019 State Auditors General's report on OPIC, and therefore called on the financial crime investigation agencies to investigate and recover into the state's coffers the unaccounted balance of 2.5 billion naira, which happened during Barrister Babajide Odusholu's tenure as the managing director of the corporation. This was just as the Assembly also directed the former managing director to pay back the sum of 40 million naira that was unaccounted for in year 2019 into the state government purse within 6 months.
World Arthritis Day is a global awareness day held every year on 12th October with the aim of raising awareness in all audiences across the world of the existence and impact of rheumatic and muscle-related diseases. In this special report, Ayodeji Oluwumi takes a look at the significance of the day. His reports.
Arthritis is an inflammation of one or more joints, causing pain and stiffness that can worsen with age. A person cannot die from arthritis. However, the widespread inflammation that characterizes the condition can lead to life-threatening complications.
Arthritis in general is a degenerative disease. There are different types basically, but the commonest is called osteoarthritis. And osteoarthritis is a degenerative disease which causes wear and tear of the joints.
The commonest causes of arthritis is what we refer to as wear and tear. You see, use over time, and then trauma, injury to the joints. Those are the commonest causes. That's when you see people saying that, oh, maybe by the age of 50, my knees, I cannot bend that much again.
Arthritis and Rheumatism International marked 12th October as World Arthritis Day in 1996 to raise awareness around this debilitating condition. The theme to commemorate World Arthritis Day 2021 is Time to Walk, a message to all organizations to be more sensitive to the needs of employees living with arthritis.
There are some ways that you keep your posture in such a way that you are able to have a good posture. Okay, I will explain by saying that if you want to bend over to pick something, the proper thing for you is to bend with your knees. You bend your knees and then pick that thing from the floor. By the time you are bending your back, you see, to pick things every now and again, your back is not designed to do all of that work. And so with time, you begin to have pain at the back.
Then those whose work involves continuous walking or continuous movement can also learn to micropause. Micropause means break your activities. If you are standing for long, if your work involves sitting for long, change your positions as often as possible.
Arthritis patients are advised to seek medical attention from experts, engage in non-strenuous exercises, and eat balanced diet, as these could help to manage arthritis. Ayodeji Oluwumi, Ogtv News.
Ogun State Muslim Council has appointed former president of the National Council of Muslim Youth Organizations, Alhaji Kamaldeen Akitunde, as its Secretary General. According to a statement by the council, the decision was reached on October 10, 2021, at the council's extended executive meeting presided over by its President General, the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono. The statement added that Akitunde was first appointed as the interim Secretary General on 22nd August 2021 after the demise of the former Secretary General of the Council. The President General of the Council, Oba Adetono, further articulated that the Council needed the experience of Akitunde to attain its vision. He also added that his appointment was basically on merit, urging Muslims in the state to support him in the discharge of his responsibilities. The Chairman, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, retired Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, has said Nigeria is prepared to go after the assets of drug barons and traffickers in any part of the country. Marwa said this during his presentation at the ongoing Third Committee session of the 76th United Nations General Assembly in New York, U.S. These were contained in a statement issued on Tuesday by the Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Babafemi. He noted that Nigeria will remain undaunted in adopting dynamic strategies to counter new approaches adopted by organized criminals in order to make drug trafficking unattractive, while ensuring forfeiture of the criminally derived asset, a tested and powerful deterrent to the proliferation of drug crimes and criminalities. The NDLEA boss, while demonstrating Nigeria's high commitment to the protection of public health and safety, said the government has launched a war against drug abuse campaign, which will enable Nigerians to take full ownership of the fight against the menace of illicit drugs. The statement said the NDLEA boss expressed appreciation to all international partners who, in the spirit of shared responsibility, deserve to be appreciated for their great support through technical assistance, information and intelligence sharing, capacity building and training, specifically in the area of countering the use of information and communication technology for criminal purposes, which has given a great boost to the agency's counter-narcotic strategies. Gunmen have attacked the St. Albert the Great Institute of Philosophy, a Catholic church-owned seminary in Fayette Community, Kagoma Chiefdom of Jamaya local government area of Kaduna. They were said to have invaded the school on Monday night and started shooting sporadically, thereby creating fear among the students and staff of the school. Spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mohammed Jalige, who confirmed the attack, to also noted that 3 students were abducted by the gunmen, while some others were injured. The board and management of Ogun State Television, Ogtv, have rolled out activities to mark the 40th anniversary of its creation. Towards achieving the goal, the 40th Anniversary Committee, headed by the board chairman, Comrade Tunde Oladunjoyi, has swung into action.
For us in this committee, and by the grace of God, our contribution will be memorable.
According to the acting general manager of the station, Mr. Tunde Kazim, stressed that the 40th anniversary celebration will be a remarkable one.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's not only for one day. It's going to be about for a program that's lined up for 2 months. We want to start in earnest in the month of November and also in December. And we want to start rolling out the programs in earnest. The anniversary logo will be out anytime from now. And we are also planning to have backdrop that will depict Ogtv at 40 in all our programs, including news.
Ogun State Television commenced operations on the 25th of December 1981 as a Christmas gift to the people of Ogun State under the leadership of late Chief Victor Olabisi Onabanjo, the first civilian governor of the state. The demise of the late distinguished information guru and astute administrator and one of the founding fathers of Ogun State Public Service, Pa Kolawole Bangbelu, has been described as a great loss to the entire public and civil service of the state. This was made known by the leader of a delegation of the Board of Retired Heads of Service and Dr. Ademolu Olusoya, who paid a condolence visit to the family at the residence in Bodija area of Ibadan. Matthew Shoumi reports.
An active member of the body of retired heads of service and permanent secretaries in Ogun State before his demise, the career of Pa Kolawole Bangbelu as a distinguished information guru and astute administrator could be described as glorious in many respects, having started as a grade 2 information officer in Western Nigerian Public Service and buying out as a permanent secretary in various capacities in the state. A delegation of the body of retired heads of service and permanent secretaries, led by Dr. Ademolu Olusanya, is at the residence of the late veteran public servants to commiserate with the family.
He was a fantastic man, very, very, very eloquent. Eloquent. Any assignment given to him, you can be too sure. I served with him on a committee on agricultural information, and he was thorough. He's a man who knows his onions.
The wife of the deceased, Deborah Bangbelu, thanked the delegation for coming to identify with the family, describing her husband as a good man.
He was a very good man. He was a very, very, very good man. And we miss him. But I know the Lord will console you, will comfort you, Holy Spirit will comfort you. We miss him.
The funeral rites of late Pa Kolawole Bangbelu is to commence on 11th of November and end on 13th of November with a burial service at Owu-Ijebu. Notable as one of his achievements in Ogun State was the establishment of Ogtv when he was appointed by the civilian government of late Chief Olabisi Onabanjo to head the panel in charge of the establishment of the station. Matthew Showme, Ogtv News.
May you all rest in perfect peace. It's now time to bring you business news.
And on business news, the Senate on Tuesday commenced debate on the general principles of the 2022 budget. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, who presided over the session, said the debate will be concluded on Wednesday. President Muhammadu Buhari last Thursday submitted the 2022 appropriation bill to a joint sitting of the National Assembly. It was titled "A Bill for an Act to Authorize the Issuance from the Consolidated Revenue Fund with a total sum of 16.39 trillion naira. The federal government has allocated a sum of 4.2 billion naira to the Abeokuta Steel Company Limited for the year 2022. This was disclosed in the 2022 budget details report obtained from the Budget Office. The steel company had continued to receive regular budgetary allocations and disbursement in the past 6 years despite being idle. It is reported that the government allocated a total of 20 billion naira to the idle steel company between 2015 and 2021. Meanwhile, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adegbite, said that the Abeokuta Presidential Project Implementation Team would enact a pact reached between Buhari and Russian President Vladimir Putin, which required the East European country to assist in completing the project and finding a Russian firm to manage it on build, operate and transfer basis. The minister said Afrexim Bank would fund the project with $1 billion, while the Russians would offer $460 million, adding that a Russian firm, Metprom Group, would ensure the completion and operation of the steel company. Effort at concession had failed. There had also been calls on the federal government to privatize the company. The federal government halted the privatization move, stating that the problem with the Abeokuta Steel Company was very complex. The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, revealed that under the social housing scheme of the Economic Sustainability Plan, thousands of jobs have been created with the use of local building materials in the country. The Vice President disclosed this at the two-day midterm Ministerial Performance Review retreat presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, where the Vice President delivered the progress report on the Economic Sustainability Plan implementation. Professor Osinbajo also disclosed that the social housing scheme has so far seen 151,689 hectares of land made ready for development. And finally, the Nigerian exchange market closed on a positive note amidst sell-offs and buy interest as the benchmark all-share index appreciated by 45 basis points. The bulls dominated and bears in today's trading session as market breadth indicated a positive mood. At the close of market today, the stock exchange value currently stands at 21.31 trillion naira from 21.22 trillion naira in the previous trading day. And that's it on Business Report. Back to Mujisola for other segment of the news.